welcome to the Holiday and Cruise Clinic. I'm Jemma Gofton with another edition of the programme that aims to make your next cruise or holiday as problem-free and relaxing as possible. So if you have a holiday, cruise or travel-related question, here's how to get in touch. To leave a question on our viewer hotline, call 0871 423 4444. Calls cost 10p a minute from a BT landline and calls from other networks and mobiles may vary. Write on our Facebook wall or tweet us, just search Holiday and Cruise Channel. Send a message through our website www.holidayandcruisechannel.co.uk/clinic. or write to us at the Holiday and Cruise Channel, Cavendish House, Brighton Road, Liverpool, L22 5NG. Now in today's programme, we're heading over to the gorgeous Caribbean. While some have their beaches, some their diving and others their music, only one island has it all. St Lucia, so attractive she's been nicknamed the Helen of the West. St Lucia is about 27 miles long and 14 miles wide and lined with beautiful palm fringe beaches. But beaches are just an introduction to the immense beauty St Lucia has to offer. There are many rewarding ways to experience the island close up. From mountain biking through the rainforest, zip lining over it or climbing a piton, to visiting cocoa, sugar and banana plantations, sailing on a pirate ship or even driving into a volcano. And here to tell us more is Atlyn Forde from the St Lucia Tourist Board. Now I have to say, St Lucia is on my wish list, never been, but what makes it so special?
I'm happy to hear it's on your wish list. That's a really good start. St Lucia is a really special island. It's very small, but it packs a lot into that small island. So it's very diverse, lots of things that you can do, and it appeals to a lot of different people. So if you're a family looking for activities, there's something for you. A romantic couple looking for a honeymoon destination, it's ideal for that too. Great beaches, very lush green island, mountainous. So people do say it's the most simply beautiful island that they've ever visited before. So for that reason, it's really something that's quite special.
And if it's so small, why and how is there so much to do? Is that down to sort of tourism being very well driven there, or the people there who are very into, I don't know, mountain climbing, diving, etc., etc.?
Well, it's actually a combination of the two things, really. It's a small island, but because it's mountainous, you can't actually get into the interior very easily. It's got one kind of central road which goes on the coastline. We've got a number of little small fishing villages and a few hotels scattered around key areas. So the activities can range from those who like the rainforest, bird watching, turtle watching. Also you've got the water, amazing Caribbean sea, so great for diving. If you want to go zip wiring, you can do that. If you want to go kite surfing, you can do that. If you want to get a spa treatment or just lie on the beach and relax. If you want to go to a market and sample, lots of tropical fruits. If you wanted to go Segway, which is when you go on the two-wheel thing, you can do that too. Or you can go to a cocoa plantation and make chocolate. So there really is something for everybody there. Although it is small, there's a lot to do.
Well, I was going to say what type of traveller would go there, but I guess with anybody.
Well, exactly. I mean, you can really carve out what kind of holiday you'd like in St Lucia. So, for example, if you on a honeymoon, and again, that can be quite diverse. You could be a couple who just want to really, enjoy the first flush of love and relax on the beach and, have amazing customer service at your hotel, which we have. Or maybe you're looking for a hotel which is quite unusual. We've got a number of hotels that have only got 3 walls, so the 4th wall is open to the elements. You've got amazing views of the Piton Mountains. Again, it's all about the beauty, the natural beauty of St Lucia. So for honeymooners still, who are looking for a romantic holiday, they can get that. And if you want like a family with teenagers, again, there's lots for them to do. So, I mean, it really is quite diverse, and people are sometimes surprised as to how many things you can do in St Lucia, because it is very much renowned for being a romantic island, which it is. But if you do want to get out and explore the island, which we encourage visitors to do, there is lots on the island for you to see.
So if you're adventurous, it suits you, tick. If you're on a honeymoon, tick. What about if you've a young family? Because we know how appealing beaches are to kids.
Yes,
I mean, you can spend all day there with them, can't you?
That's right.
And it doesn't cost you anything.
No. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, St Lucia is really, again, quite special in terms of beaches. St Lucia is a volcanic island, so we've got a driving volcano, like you mentioned, which means that in the south of the island, we've got dark sand. And then on some of the hotels, you've actually got white sand. And then in the north of the island, you've got golden sand. So there are kind of 3 different coloured sands across the island. And they're all very diverse and different. So you've got little coves, you've got longer kind of golden sandy beaches. You've got ones that have got little rock pools where the children can do little bits of fishing. And a lot of the beaches are really special because when you walk out, there isn't that big drop. And also it's very sandy underfoot. So again, for young children, it's really good because they can walk out and they're quite safe, so the parents can be nearby, but have to worry about them kind of going down a deep slope, which many other beaches have in other places. So I've got young children and they love to play on the beach in St Lucia. And the best thing of all, the water's warm, so there's none of that dipping your toe and you can just dive straight in.
And what about what they can see in the water? Is it very clear, lots of fishes? Is it quite exciting? Because, you know, obviously we experience the beaches here, not so much to see.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, the water is very clear. And again, you can go out and you can do your own swimming, but if you want to, you can also do a bit of snorkelling. A lot of the hotels will provide you with snorkelling equipment. And there's lots of fish to see, very colourful fish, so you almost feel like you are in the movie, what's the movie with the little Dora, the dory fish?
With Finding Nemo.
Yeah, Finding Nemo, exactly.
So
and you see those, you can see the clownfish, yeah.
See, I'd be very excited by that.
Yeah, it's really nice. And we've actually got something called snoober, which you can do, which is a cross between scuba diving and snorkelling. And children up to under the age of 7 years old can do that, and you can do it without being certified, because what it is, you have the same equipment as diving, but without the big pack on your back, without the gas canisters on your back. It's actually connected to a floating device which holds those cans on the surface, and so you can go down to about 25 feet and explore the underwater world, which is really amazing. You see little seahorses, lots of really beautiful, colourful fishes that you can see, and it's very safe out there too, so you can go quite far out. It's very safe, kind of shallowed marine reserve, so you haven't got like boats around you or anything. It's a very clear, safe area. So I definitely would recommend exploring the beaches and also the underwater world for young families as well.
Now, you've touched on accommodation, saying you can have hotels with just the 3 walls. But what about other types of hotels? You know, have you got boutique? Have you got B&B? Is there something for everybody's price range?
Most definitely. And the thing that's really good about all of them is the level of customer service that we offer. The people of St Lucia are very friendly. So whether you are staying in an all-inclusive property, which is great, with interconnecting rooms for families and kids clubs and a variety of different restaurants, we have those types of hotel in St Lucia. We've also got much smaller properties, guest houses, kind of family-run guest houses. We've got boutique hotels, which have like 14 rooms. We've also got villas. They're not necessarily, we've got large villas, but also 2- and 3-bedroom villas as well. So there is a lot of diversity in terms of the product ranges in St Lucia. So if you are looking for a luxury hotel or looking for something smaller on a more affordable budget, you can definitely find that in St Lucia, but a good standard as well.
Wonderful. Now, I mentioned it's 27 miles long by 14 miles.
Yeah.
And if we started, sort of, where would we visit if we were starting at the top and working down to the bottom? Where would be the really interesting places?
Yeah, well, you'd start in the south because that's where you land. So the international airport is in Viewfort. It's called Huanora International. It's in the south of the island. And then you'd probably go up to Midway, the southwest, which is Soufrière, and that's where the famous Piton Mountains are. So the twin peaks, Gros Piton and Petit Piton, and they're a landmark in St Lucia, and very much a landmark for the whole Caribbean, actually, because not many other islands actually have a physical, natural landmark like St Lucia has. So in the area, we've got waterfalls, botanical gardens, the drive-in volcano. You can actually walk in there if you like, don't have to drive in. But you can see the activity from the volcano. It's a volcanic island, so you can go in there and have a tour. And there's also a warm mud bath in the area too.
Ooh, nice.
So you can go and bathe in the warm mud and put it on your skin and look 10 years younger. It's also good for skin ailments like eczema and psoriasis and things like that. So yeah, that area of St Lucia's got lots of activity based around the kind of the natural landscapes and some amazing hotels, including Boucan by Hotel Chocolat. I don't know if you're familiar with the chocolatier Hotel Chocolat. They have shops around the UK. But they have their only chocolate plantation in St Lucia, or cocoa plantation in St Lucia. And they have an amazing restaurant there where all the food is infused with cocoa. And you can also go to the nursery and see where they grow the cocoa. And you can have a tour and they'll talk to you about how the cocoa's grown. There's a certain variety they grow there, which apparently it's like the best cocoa beans for chocolate. And you can actually make a chocolate bar. So again, it's a great thing for a family to do, or a couple, to be able to learn about the cocoa beans and how they grow, and also to actually make a chocolate bar and take it home with you.
And weather-wise, is there a great time we should visit and a time that it's a bit rainy and not so brill?
I mean, St Lucia is a year-round destination. I mean, throughout the year we have weather 20 Celsius and above, really. So it's year-round. We do have a bit of rain. Obviously, it's a green, lush destination, so we do have rain. But it tends to be like a short, sharp burst, and then it clears. So whenever you go, you're guaranteed to have wonderful sunshine on your trip. Another thing also about St Lucia is like a twin centre. So I mentioned the south of the island being very lush and green. The north is much flatter, and up there you'll find the kind of longer stretches of golden sandy beaches. And up there's also where you'll find our capital Castries, and we've got the market there as well, which is great for a day out. But also a lot of the hotels are situated up in the north of the island because of the great golden sandy beaches, and also Rodney Bay, which is kind of one of the main tourist areas. Lots of amazing bars and restaurants and activities in the area, shopping malls as well. So if you're wanting to have kind of more of an evening entertainment area to be in, definitely the north of the island's best.
Well, we'll definitely chat about shopping and drinking and eating after this very quick break, because that's my favourite subject. Not breaks, drinking that is. Now, if you're new to cruising and fancy combining a holiday in St Lucia with a Caribbean cruise, then this, ta-da-da, is our first time guide to cruise holidays. It's well worth asking for because it's absolutely free of charge. Just give us a call, 0871 423 4444. Calls will cost 10p a minute from a BT landline, and other networks and mobiles may vary. You can also ask for a copy through our website, www.holidayandcruisechannel.co.uk. Whilst you're asking for this, we'll take a quick break. See you shortly. Welcome back to Holiday and Cruise Clinic. It's lovely to have you with us. Now in today's programme we're discussing St Lucia, and Atlyn Forde is still with me. Now, you tempted me before the break with food and nightlife and drinking, so let's break it down. Is there a typical cuisine if we come to St Lucia we absolutely must try?
You must try the seafood. Fresh fish is in abundance in St Lucia. It is an island, and traditionally many of the villages were fishing villages, so there still is that tradition there. That fish is the main staple. Lots of seafood and tropical kind of fruits as well. So you can have like prawns, lobster, fresh dorado, a wide variety of seafood. But also to complement that, you've got amazing tropical fruits like mangoes, bananas, pineapples, all grown locally on the island, which are very, very sweet. You'll find the best and most sweetest bananas in St Lucia.
Ooh. Do they have any sort of influence with food, any spices?
Oh, most definitely, yeah. I mean, it's Creole food. I mean, there's a kind of a combination in terms of the history of St Lucia, where the French, African, English and Indian kind of influences all come together to create this wonderful kind of Creole fusion food that they have. So it is lightly spiced, not in terms of a peppery sense, but lots of kind of natural spices like sweet peppers, herbs and spices from the garden. And a lot of it, all the natural things that you'll find. As I said, it is like a rainforest there. So lots of kind of fertile ground, which gives kind of abundance to this wonderful, fresh and tasty cuisine. Yeah.
Fabulous. And what about drinks? Is there a beer or a whiskey or a vodka that we should try that's locally brewed?
No vodka, no whiskey. It's all about the rum in St Lucia.
Oh, rum,
yeah.
Of course.
So we do have a St Lucian rum, well, lots of rum in fact. Wherever you go, you'll be offered a rum punch on arrival at your hotel. We've also got a beer called the Piton beer. So again, back to the landmark. And that's very well known in St Lucia and very popular. But we do have a rum factory which you can go to as well. Another great trip out if you're looking for something to do. You can go there and see how the rum's made. And they've got a room at the end which has got like 25 different varieties of rum which you can sample. So you probably end up walking out of there
staggering
with a
out
nice
of there.
buzz. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so that's food, that's drink. If you were coming, I mean, it's such a small island. It can't possibly be a party island if you were coming with your girlfriends, maybe.
Well, it is definitely a party island.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. The people of St Lucia do like to party. And the weekend is when all the parties start happening, really. So we start the weekend off on a Friday, and there are 2 street parties every single Friday. Come rain or shine, there are 2 street parties in St Lucia. So you've got the Gros Islet Jump Up, which is in the north of the island, in Gros Islet, and then you've got the Atlyn Fish Fry. So again, back to the fish. And Friday's like a big fish day in St Lucia. So they'll cook all the local catch of the day on the streets, on barbecues, and then you've got kind of the rum punch flowing again, music playing. So for those of you who kind of want to sample some really nice seafood, I'd recommend the Atlyn Fish Fry. And if you want to kind of thumping street party like carnival without the costumes though, then definitely the Gros Islet Jump Up is the thing to do on a Friday. There's also a street party on a Saturday too in a place called Dinnery, another small fishing village. And then in Rodney Bay you've got lots of bars and restaurants and clubs and things as well. So if you are looking for a bit of evening entertainment, I definitely would recommend St Lucia.
And again, can we meet everybody's pocket? You know, can you do it cheaply? Can you go full out and have some fine dining maybe?
Most definitely, yeah. I mean, in terms of the street parties, you know, it's very, very affordable. Kind of barbecue chicken and fish. And then the rum punches and the beers are very affordable too there. But if you wanted to experience a fine dining, you can also do that in St Lucia. Many of the hotels have got the most finest chefs cooking cuisine, international cuisine from around the world. But also in Rodney Bay, there's a lot of variety. So the food there available can range from pizza, Subway, Chinese, Indian, to the finest Creole cuisine as well, and lots of seafood restaurants and steak houses too. So there's a lot of diversity and in terms of cuisine in St Lucia, yeah.
And we're talking about going from Rodney Bay and then maybe somewhere else where it's a bit more mountainous. How easy is it to get around? Do we need a car? Can we do public transport?
Yeah, either really. I mean, there is kind of one central road in St Lucia.
We can't get lost
So you can't
then.
get lost, yeah. So you can hire a car. I mean, the roads can be quite bendy when you get to the south, so just to drive carefully. But it said you can't get lost. There is also a transport system, so you can get a bus. They're all signed, so you know where you're going. And then there's lots of taxis as well, and they're really good because the taxi drivers are very friendly, very knowledgeable, so they can take you out for the day to various different spots around the island. So there's various ways of getting around.
Okay, so we can get around it. How do we actually get to it though? How often are the flights and how long is the flight?
Well, the flight's really short. It's only 8 hours, so shorter than Miami, and just a little bit longer than New York. So people think it's quite far away, but 8 hours really is really good and quite good for a family too. And we have daily flights, so there's actually 13 flights a week. So British Airways fly there daily. Virgin Atlantic flies 5 times a week, and then you've got the Thomas Cook flight from Manchester, which is once a week. So it's very easy to get to. We've also got a lot of cruise ships that call in at St Lucia. Obviously, Caribbean cruises are very popular, and a number of cruise lines stop in St Lucia in Castries, the capital.
Fabulous. So easy to get around. Okay, let's just break it down then. If you were coming for your honeymoon, what would be the most romantic thing you could do, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, there are so many romantic things that you can do in St Lucia, but what I think's amazing are our sunsets. They are the most beautiful, colourful sunsets ever. And so you could do a champagne sunset cruise, sail down the Caribbean Sea from the north to the south, watch the sunset, just you and your partner. Perfect. Yeah.
And if you're one of those crazy type of people that like to be active on holiday, what would you say that you should do in St Lucia that you perhaps wouldn't get to do anywhere else?
Well, I think one of the most unique things you can do in St Lucia is to climb Gros Piton, and that is one of the 2 Piton mountains. So when you get to the top, you can get to see the whole of St Lucia, along with Martinique and St Vincent, 2 other islands that are nearby. And that is an extremely unique experience, and very thrilling and very fulfilling to get to the top, to say you've achieved that.
And how easy is it to hop to other islands if you're at St Lucia? Is that something you could do?
Yeah, extremely easy, yeah. I mean, you can get a ferry to some of the islands, or you can fly with Liat. As I said, Martinique, you can see it on a clear day to the north, and then St Vincent you can see to the south. But Antigua and Barbados and all the other islands are never too far, about half an hour's flight.
And how long do you suggest that somebody gives themselves there to really absorb it and get into the lifestyle and appreciate St Lucia?
Well, I would say about 10 days minimum, really. People do go for a week, but I think 10 days is a good amount of time because you've got time to go out and explore and see the island and time to relax as well. Obviously, you're on holiday after all, you want some time to relax. So I think 10 days is a good duration.
And if you were, we mentioned about maybe you might stay in the north and the south. Would you actually break up the holiday if that was you? Would that be your?
Most definitely, yeah. We do sell it as a twin centre, and there are many hotels that partner with each other. So you can spend time at the beach in the north of the island, and then come to the south and explore the nature and the tranquility of the island. Yeah, so 5 days in each would work out really well.
And is that something you have to build yourself, or do the hotels organise a transfer to the next hotel.
Yes, the tour operator will package it up for you and they would organise a transfer in between. So yeah, that can all be done for you. You don't need to do it yourself, although you can do it yourself if you choose to.
And I assume you've been a fair bit.
Just a bit.
What are your top tips then?
My top tips are definitely to get out and explore the island. And it would be such a shame to come to St Lucia and not to get out. The hotels are amazing, so I can see why people are tempted to stay in there. But do come out and spend a few days exploring the island and meeting the St Lucian people, because we're very friendly. And I think it really adds another dimension to your trip.
Let's talk about the boring logistics of it now. Obviously, we need a passport. Do we need a visa?
No visa required. If you're coming from the UK and you've got a UK passport or EU passport, no visa is required to get to St Lucia. So another easy thing to do.
And what's the currency?
We have two currencies. You can have Eastern Caribbean dollars or US dollars. Most people bring their US dollars with them because they're easier to get in the UK, but you can also use the local currency of Eastern Caribbean dollars.
Now, I've travelled to the Bahamas and was terrible with jet lag.
All right.
What's the time difference, and is it something that people might suffer with, a bit of jet lag?
I wouldn't have thought so, really. The time difference is 4 hours. But what I find is really nice is that you leave the UK in the morning at about 9 o'clock, and then you get to St Lucia and it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So you've got a kind of full day of sunshine still ahead of you. So no, I think 4 hours is quite manageable, actually.
It's absolutely doable, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you were coming out for the summer holidays, what would be the key event? Because obviously you have lots of festivals and things that go on. What would we not want to miss?
Well, there are a few really great events, actually. We've got the Jazz Festival coming up in May, and so the headline act for that is Robin Thicke. And then we've got Flo Rida and Jimmy Cliff and a few other artists, but it's just a great atmosphere and ambience on the island during St Lucia Jazz. So that's in May, and then in the summer we've got our carnival, and that kind of runs throughout July. Lots of different fringe events also happening around that, and amazing street party and costumes as well. So that's in July, and then in August we've got our Chocolate Heritage Month. So it's a month.
I'll come that month.
Yeah, exactly. I like the
cool.
idea of that too. So a whole month basically with different chocolate things that you can do. Not only eating it, you can have a chocolate spa treatment. Again, you can go on a chocolate tour, visit the plantations, a range of different things that are linked to the chocolate. And then in the kind of in the latter months, you've got a triathlon. So in November, if you're really wanting to, I suppose, get away and keep fit and have a challenge, you can do a triathlon in St Lucia as well. So again, a diverse mix of activities and events for everybody.
Wonderful. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. Thank you so much. It was so interesting. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, before we head off, just a quick reminder about this. It's our first time guide to cruise holidays. It's free of charge, so give us a call. 0871 423 4444. Calls will cost 10p a minute from a BT landline, and other networks and mobiles may vary. Don't forget you can also ask for a copy through our website, www.holidayandcruisechannel.co.uk, where you can also get in touch with your questions for future programmes. So that's all we've got time for on today's edition of the Holiday and Cruise Clinic. My thanks to Atlyn Forde from the St Lucia Tourist Board, and thanks to you for watching. See you next time. Bye.